is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Hoop State Hype with Miles Mastrocola. I'm Miles Mastrocola. Let's get right into it. All right, so for high school / travel ball news, relatively quiet week. There are a few things going on in the state of North Carolina. Obviously, we had some of North Carolina's best go down to Georgia for the on-the-radar tip-off. And Team Curry, they made their debut as a team, as a program. Obviously, PSB's been around for a long time, but this was their first, on-the-record event with Steph Curry on board as a partner, and they're on pace for a special year. They have a lot of young talent. They have a lot of talent in the 2021 class as well as the 2023 class. And that's probably the kid who got the most attention from that group this weekend was Caleb Foster, the 6'3", 6'4" point guard from Hickory Ridge High School. He played up with the 17U division and did an excellent job with them. He picked up Wake Forest and Virginia Tech offers, so he's going to be a name in that 2023 class that we mentioned was loaded with point guards. You got guys like Caleb Foster, Robert Dillingham, Aiden Holloway, Jalen Curry, Trey Green, Will Otto. There's so many players in that class that are going to be able to have a really great impact at the high school level and beyond in the state of North Carolina, especially the backcourt. A few other guys that impressed. Ian Shefflin out of Grayson, out of Georgia, picked up a Clemson offer. He's a 6'8" forward that can really shoot it from the outside. Jaden Doyle, the super athletic guard that actually just made the move from Freedom Christian over to South Kent School. He had a good weekend. And Jonas Adu, our guy Simmons coached him through AAU last summer. Simmons was down there with Team Curry as well. He played at Voyager, and he's going to play his 5th year at Liberty Heights in Charlotte for Coach Mike Wright. He had a good weekend. Khalil Mading picked up an offer from East Carolina. Jamari Thomas showed some flashes. Logan Threat played well. So those guys really had a good weekend and put on for the Hoop State down in Georgia. The other thing in the state of North Carolina to keep note of, Will Felton, one of the greatest players in the history of Millbrook basketball, a storied program, decided that he's going to play his senior year at Hargrave Military Academy, and he's got a chance to cement himself as a high major prospect there, assuming the season goes on as planned. And he's going to be productive. Everywhere he goes, he's productive. And if he does that at that national level on that national schedule, he's going to prove to all those high major coaches that haven't pulled the trigger yet that it's time. His game is old school. He's a back to the basket forward, but he can really rebound at both backcourts. He can defend the post, and he can score with his back to the basket, unlike just about any other big in the state of North Carolina. So best of luck there, Will. The Hoop State has your back, and we expect great things from you. Moving on to something outside of the state of North Carolina that is pretty noteworthy, Imani Bates, the consensus #1 prospect in all of high school basketball, is going to commit to Michigan State. We'll see if he actually ends up playing there or not, because the G League and possibly the finishing of the one and done rule could happen by then. But regardless, if he plays college basketball, it will be at Michigan State for Tom Izzo. And he's also playing for a new prep school that his dad started. I think it's called YPSI Prep. Up in Michigan. So a thing to be known about that is that's an outlaw school. They're not governed by anybody. So that's going to be a team that we target to get down to the John Wall Holiday Invitational. If not in 2020, obviously it's going to be more complicated this year with everything going on, but hopefully things clear up by 2021. And regardless, we hope to have Imani Bates down here for at least one season, hopefully two. And Imani, if you're watching this, we'll put on a good show for you. But that's about it for the high school stuff. College-wise, the NCAA announced that there is no longer a August evaluation period, so that kind of puts a little damper on some stuff going on from the travel ball aspect for the month of August. But if you want to look at it half glass full, which is something I try to do with everything involving this, is we now have an opportunity to really make a difference with our live stream coverage. And we at the Hoop State Network feel like we do a better job than just about anybody else when it comes to the live streaming stuff. We're going to have multiple courts going at some of the Phenom Hoops events. I think all of the Phenom Hoops events, so that should be really good. We saw what On the Radar was able to do this weekend and have, what appeared to be tons and tons of Division I coaches tuned into the live stream, and that might be how it looks for this summer. We'll see what they do in September. Obviously, some numbers on the pandemic are looking better in some areas, and some are looking worse in others. Here in North Carolina, it appears like we're kind of getting it figured out, but regardless of what happens, there will be no August evaluation period, and we will keep you guys updated for that in terms of September and when they make that announcement, which we should expect at some point here in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah. For the NBA, get your Hennessy ready because J.R. Smith is back. He signed a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, we know what happened last time he was in the NBA. Things didn't end well in that game 1. Just a total lack of awareness. But J.R. Smith can be a heat check guy for the Lakers off the bench. He can come in, play some defense, knock down some shots. And we know that LeBron is comfortable with him on the team. Regardless of the mistakes that he made in the past, he did help LeBron win a championship in 2016. And his impact could be huge, especially with the absence of Avery Bradley, as he decided to not partake in the NBA's restart down in Orlando. A couple other things going on with the NBA restart as we wrap up. The NBA is going to be painting, I'm not sure exactly how they're doing it, they haven't released the imagery of it yet, but they're going to be painting Black Lives Matter on the court to be seen for the entire broadcast for every single game for the rest of the season, which is a great move, showing that the NBA is committed to giving these guys an even bigger voice than they initially had in regards to this whole Black Lives Matter movement, which is something we just absolutely love to see. The other thing they're doing with that is they're doing custom jersey names, and Morant made the news a little bit by saying 12, and I mean, it was funny. You can see where some people might get mad about it. At the end of the day, like, Morant's like a 20-year-old kid. He's going to say some funny stuff, and that was funny. I rocked with it. It was good. But either way, they're going to have custom jersey names for everything going on in Orlando. So that's going to be interesting to watch to see if we can get that done, see how that goes on. So that is about it for this episode of Hoop State Hype. Be sure to subscribe to the Hoop State Network for everything going on in the state of North Carolina involving basketball. That's about it. We'll see you guys soon. We appreciate you.
Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, and they pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. Hit for my wins, I need my ends. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in, I get it in, I get it in. I'm on my job, I get it done, but you should know that. Shine like a sun, a 101, you should know that. I get the front and in the back, you should know that. No need to stun, it's never cap, you should know that.